Welcome back to Let's Talk Race in Ireland. Today we're going to talk about Universal Music Group buys majority stake in Afrobeats label Marvin. Universal Music Group (UMG) has acquired a majority stake in Lagos, Nigeria-based music company Maven Global. I think it's Marvin or Maven. I'm quite torn. Been looking at the differences, different feelings about this amongst African people. Now, I'm just going to read some of the comments here. Someone said, revisit our interview. We should never allow our colonizers to own our cultural production. This is a generational wealth. Oh man, this is sad. This cannot happen to our beloved Amapiano. Another African brand goes, Ish, why should everything excellent and authentic go to the highest Western buyer? Can't we consolidate our strength and compete globally? I see the bright side, but what is the dark side of this collaboration? A reflection of African power, a lesson to all. Right, so it keeps going, and I think someone even mentioned again about imperialism. And my point is about this is that it's a difficult, very difficult story, right? Now, I'm not too against people going into white spaces. I'm just against people going into white spaces and becoming subservient. I'm going to say it again. I'm not too against people going to white spaces. I'm against people going into white spaces and assimilating and becoming subservient. I understand that power at the moment is in the hands of Western society, in the hands of Western powers. It's naive to say that we do not have to deal with them at all at any point. Now, I definitely think that this is not a conversation that is related to, politics. It's very much, it is a politics situation, but it's not actually, it can't be looked at the very same way as African politics. I think African politics, definitely we should be looking to do things on our own due to the history. But when I think about the future of music and the future of, Africa, I understand that Africa has been bringing so much to the world in regards to Afrobeat. So I want to shout out Nigeria. And it's really a rising time for Africa. And we're becoming global and we're becoming powerful. And I can understand why they felt that move would be the best move to make at this time. But it also, to us, is an indication, which we probably didn't need, that the world is moving towards Africa. And my only take will be this, because I still have to kind of let it digest as it only came in today, and I'm still unsure about how I feel about it. As you know, I'm very pro-black, and I'm unsure. We have the conversation about Dr.Umar as well, where he has been trying to build a school strictly with white funding. He always says, I think the Black Panther said, the revolution will not be financed. And I understand that's a fact, and I actually commend Dr. Umar, and I think people have forgotten how hard it is to fund the school, which is probably why he's asking, all the black bourgeoisie, why haven't they, accumulated their money and built infrastructure and built institutions? He probably feels like, our community could benefit from investing in his, and he is definitely right. I think he is somebody who would definitely go down the history books, and I definitely think that he is spotless in his desire to uplift the community and his determination to uplift the community. I definitely think that he's completely and utterly focused on that, and I don't think he's focused on self-gains. I think you would see that in the way he dresses. I think you would see in the way he carries himself. He's a very simple man, wears practically the same, if not the same things all the time, and lives a very simple life. You don't see Dr. Umar as someone who is looking in the core of who he is, not just showing us or what he's showing us, looking to benefit, for his own social gain off of, the funds that anybody could have sent him. And I really do appreciate him for that. Just has some Nike runners on, jeans, and probably a dashiki and a hat on, and that's Umar good to go. So let's not act like this guy got on Louboutins, got on, what I'm trying to say? Like, he's not that guy. And he's on the ground, connected with the people, seeing the people, and that's very important. But when we talk about that's the reason why he hasn't probably been able to get that backing to build and finalize the school. So then we have to look at people like this, who have sold the label, the Nigerian people, and we ask ourselves, is it the right move? I don't know. I want you guys to actually leave something in the comment section so we can discuss in the comment section whether or not you think it was the right move. Personally, for me, I think that it could have been the right move for now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he still has a huge decision-making role within the label, and nothing has gotten out of his power, out of his control. It's more of just, I guess, a funding situation, and I hope that it works out for the best for Nigeria and for African wealth and African music. My mother said something quite funny today. She said, listen, merely and solely because African people who are rich in terms of musicians and stuff don't really band together their money to build infrastructure or institutions for the less fortunate people in Africa. They fail to do that as much as they should. So I'm not too concerned if this deal ends up or results in them receiving less money than they could had that deal had not taken place. But when we think about the advancement and the representation that takes place for Africa as Africa is being pumped into the world, I think there's definitely more eyes on Africa. And that's when our job comes in, Africans, where we have to stand our ground and be people who are self-determined. So as people create more or develop more of an interest for Africa, we know ourselves and we know how to gatekeep what is important for us to gatekeep and protect and defend what is important. I think we have learned our lesson. I think we are now in a stage where, for example, when the artifacts that were stolen by the British were being given back, as borrowed back to Ghana, I definitely think that was something that African people created an uproar about, and we don't take that kind of stuff lightly anymore. We understand what we must gatekeep due to the history that is, the given history. And I have hope for Africa. Like I said, I think the world is moving towards Africa. I think Africa will be the next superpower, and I'm excited for that time. So listen, drop in the comments and let me know what you think. Was it a good choice? What is a bad choice? Yeah, thank you. And I'm on a mission for you.